Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. I am Annika Spalding, the Community Relations Director here at the Amarillo Little Theater. And this is Thursdays at 3, where I go live every Thursday to get you caught up on what's happening this week at ALT. This season, Thursdays at 3 is generously sponsored by our friends at Realty Central Services. Cindy Bulla is the owner and broker at Realty Central and is a longtime supporter and champion of ALT. Realty Central is a women-owned, full-service real estate brokerage providing unparalleled customer service backed by decades of experience, industry service, and property rights advocacy. So if you're in need of real estate service and you love ALT, and I hope that you do, consider heading over to amarillo.realestate and using Realty Central Services. All right, Misery opened last weekend for the first of 2 sold-out weekends of shows, and audiences have been absolutely loving it. Thank you so much to everyone who attended our Ovation Series talkback following Sunday's matinee. And of course, as always, thank you to Kevin and Roxanne Ball for sponsoring it. Volunteers, we need your help for ushering and concessions for Misery this weekend. We have lots of open slots, so we really need you guys to come through if you can. Remember that this show has no intermission, so all that help will be before the show begins. If you are interested in volunteering to help, contact our volunteer coordinator, Lissa Guerin, at the information you see on your screen. And just remember, if you volunteer to help with ushering and concessions, you have the opportunity to see the show that evening completely for free. If you will be seeing the show that evening, Lissa will make sure that you will have time to get to your seat before the show begins. If you can help out with that, we would really appreciate it. We need lots and lots of help for this weekend's shows. And don't forget about Strike from Misery as well. Following the final performance on Sunday, we will tear down the set beginning at 4:45 p.m. Bring your own drill if you have one. As always, we will feed you dinner once Strike is complete. And this Saturday, we're going to have a paint call for Ragtime beginning at 10 a.m. at the Alan Shankles main stage. If you plan on attending, let Lissa know by sending her an RSVP at the info you see on your screen. Let me pop that back up here. If you'll let Lissa know if you're going to make it to work call this weekend, so we can get a head count for lunch. That would be so great. Excited about getting these shows up and running. And you guys are always so helpful with work calls and ushering and concessions. We're really grateful for you guys that you're always jumping in and helping us with that. So thank you so much. And speaking of Ragtime, tickets are currently on sale to members this week. So make sure if you're a member to take advantage of that early reservation perk. Then on Monday, October 27th, this coming Monday at 10 a.m., tickets will go on sale to the public. So be ready. Ragtime is the first show of our season that isn't super well known. So if you don't know already, Ragtime is set at the turn of the 20th century in New York when times were volatile, kind of, like right now. A little bit. The musical weaves together 3 American stories, one of a stifled upper-class wife and a determined Jewish immigrant and a Harlem musician, all united by their belief in the promise of the American dream. The show tackles contradictions between wealth and poverty, freedom and prejudice, and what it means to live in America. So I feel like all of us on some level can relate to that, especially right now. Ragtime will also feature a 25-piece orchestra on stage and will be a highlight of the season for sure. Ragtime won the 1998 Tony Award for Best Book of a Musical, Best Orchestrations, and Best Original Score. So a really great musical that you're not going to want to miss. Make sure you get your tickets for Ragtime, especially because it's not as well known of a title as the first 3 shows of our season. So if you do come and see it, make sure and help us spread the word, share our social media posts, tell your friends about it. If you're a music lover, this show's for you. Excellent, excellent music, as you can tell by the Tony Awards that this show won. So fabulous cast, 25-piece orchestra on stage the entire time. It's going to be a real treat. So don't miss out. While we're on the subject of Ragtime, our castmate, McCauley, made a video that he wanted to share with everyone. So check it out.
Hi, everybody at Thursdays at 3. This is McCauley Johnson, and I just want to get on here and give a shout out to my amazing cast for Ragtime and give a good shout out to Miss Annika Spalding, who's playing Mother in ragtime, and I want to give a good shout out to her for doing her thing and doing her best in this show. And I want to give a good shout out to my director, Mr. Jason Crespian, and our musical director, Miss Jen Atkins, and our team from Sarah, Chip, Kaylee, and Jesse. Y'all are doing an amazing job supporting us with this show. And I just want to tell everybody, get your tickets for Ragtime, because this is going to be an amazing show that nobody don't want to miss. We have a 25-piece orchestra coming in and performing with us that will make you get up off your feet with this amazing storytelling that we're going to show y'all on November 6th. Now, I want everybody to know during preview night, I want everybody to reach deep into their hearts with this show, because we want everybody to feel the pain that we're going to tell this storytelling. Thank you. And please go get your tickets for Ragtime this Monday. Thank you.
Oh, Michelle, always so encouraging. So excited to do a show with him. He wanted to send me that video and encourage everybody and give a little shout out to Ragtime. So thank you, Michelle, for that. Always happy to be on the receiving end of your encouragement, and you're always so encouraging and wonderful to be around. So thank you so much for that. Our good friend Vanessa says, hello, beautiful friend. I got to work Misery last Sunday. Absolutely amazing. Looking forward to Ragtime, especially to see you and your family in it. Thank you so much. So glad you're here, Vanessa. And Jesse says, thank you for the shout out, Michelle. You're doing a fantastic job. Yes, he is. And Jesse, you and the whole production team are doing a fantastic job as well. We're so grateful for you guys. Okay. And while we're talking about shows, because ALT, it's just a cyclical thing. We're just always churning out shows. When you're watching one, there's one about to open right after it on its heels. So let's talk about auditions for The Cottage. Auditions for The Cottage are coming up in just a few weeks, November 10th and 11th at the Alan Schenkel's main stage. Be watching for that audition packet to be live on our website really soon. If you love a funny, witty British comedy, then you're going to absolutely love this one. Set in the English countryside in 1923, this side-splitting romp is an outrageous tale of sex, betrayal, and love. Hilarity ensues when Sylvia decides to expose her affair to both her husband and to her lover's wife. The true meaning of fate, identity, and marriage are called into question as a surprising and hilarious web of secrets unravels in this ridiculous, potentially murderous romantic comedy. This laugh-out-loud farce is written by the same playwright as ALT's Clue, and all takes place in The Cottage. Really great show. We're so excited about that one. And that one is going to be running January. Let me pull that up. January 8th through the 18th, 2026. So we're going to have auditions for that November 10th and 11th. And again, it will be on the website really soon. Of course, we'll let you know on our social media. We'll let everybody know about that. We are working on that packet as we speak right now. And let's chat a little bit about our Committed to ALT Sponsor a Seat campaign. We're so excited about this campaign. You have the chance to preserve your support for ALT's century-long tradition of storytelling by sponsoring a seat in the historic Alan Schenkel's main stage, commemorated with a permanent plaque elegantly inscribed with your name or the name of a loved one, a lasting tribute to our 100-year legacy. We're so excited about this campaign. We've had so many sponsorships so far, but we want to get every single seat in the main stage sponsored. This would be a great gift. It would be a great tribute to a loved one who's here or who's passed on. Senior gift, if you've got a senior graduating who's been a member of the Academy, if ALT means something to you, if you had a first date here, if there's a show that meant something to you. We're trying to preserve the legacy that got us to where we are right now while we look forward to our next 100 years. Our centennial is only 2 years away, and we're so excited to celebrate the fact that we have been around 100 seasons. And that is due in such large part to all of you who volunteer your time, donate your energy, your time, your skills, your expertise, your talent, all of the things that you guys do to make us what we are. We're so grateful to all of you. We wouldn't be able to produce 11 shows a season without volunteers committing their time to what's basically a community project, coming together and learning a new art form, learning things about yourself, growing as a person, creating community, meeting people you wouldn't have met otherwise. It's such an important place. And so we're so grateful to all of you. That is the Sponsor a Seat is a $250 commitment. You can pay that all at once, or you can do it in 5 installments of $50. We want to try to make that as accessible as we can. We know that's expensive, especially in times like these. But if you're interested in that, give us a call at the box office, shoot me an email. I can stick my email up here. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about the Sponsor a Seat campaign. We're really really, really excited about that. I'll pop some more information about that here on your screen if you want to take a screenshot of that. But all of that information is on our website. It's also in the box office. Joe and Lissa can answer any questions you have about that. Of course, I'm happy to do that as well. We're really grateful to everyone who's sponsored a seat so far, and we look forward to sponsoring all of the seats in the Alan Shingles main stage. There are 453, so there's a lot to choose from, and you can choose whichever seat you want as long as it's not already taken. So very exciting way to kind of stake your claim on this really cool and important space that's a part of our almost 100-year history. Okay, let's keep it moving with our volunteer of the week. All right. Congratulations to our good friend Barb Amrine. She has been attending work calls to help with ragtime and ushering for Misery. She's even come multiple times during the day this week. She was here this morning to help with the set, and we are also so grateful for her time. Congratulations, Barb. We're so grateful for you. We wanted to celebrate you today. So congratulations on being our volunteer of the week. And let's keep going with some breaking Broadway news. All right, AFM Local 802 has reached a tentative agreement with the Broadway League. The Broadway musicians' new 3-year agreement will avert a strike that was originally scheduled to begin later today, which is great news for the Broadway community. All the musicians were going to go on strike later today, but because they've reached this tentative agreement, they're not going to, which means people who have flown in and purchased tickets to see musicals on Broadway are not going to be sorely disappointed today. That's very, very exciting. And also great for the actors as well, that they get to continue getting paid. And we love that. We love that for them. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's talk about Misery. I am so excited to welcome my guest for today. Kayla Fuller is here. I am so excited to chat with you, Kayla. Hi.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. I am so excited to chat with you. Bobby, I don't know where Bobby is.
I don't either.
You'll see him tonight, I'm sure.
Yes. Oh, I hope so.
Where he is. He's missing out on a great time. So sorry for you, Bobby. Kayla, I'm so glad you're here. You are a busy mom and you managed to pick up your kid from school. I have to just mom to mom. I have to shout that out because at the last minute, Kayla had to pick up her son from school and brought him home and was still here for Thursdays at 3. Moms do it all, don't they?
They really do.
I mean,
go moms.
I just had to shout that out, fellow mom to mom, because I see you, Kayla. I know the stress of that. I know what you just did, and I'm really grateful for it.
Oh.
Okay, I want to chat with you about the first weekend of sold out shows for Misery and what that experience was like for you guys.
Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. And we've had, it's been a real interesting experience doing this show. I've never done a show like Misery, and this is my first show in the adventure space that I've ever done. It really is, yeah. And so
I love getting to talk to people about their first adventure space.
Oh man, I mean, and this was the best one for me to do it.
Oh, for sure.
Being in such an up close and intimate space. And I mean, in some parts of the show, the audience, I could probably sneeze and it would hit them.
Yeah.
And so for everybody to be so close, and it's not like main stage where if you look out in the audience, you might be able to see like the first 2 rows and that's about it. But with the adventure space, you can see everyone and everyone can see you very, very well.
That's right.
But the audiences have been amazing, and the feedback that we've gotten is just fantastic. And it makes my heart so happy because I love Stephen King and I love Misery. And so for everyone to have such great feedback, and the talk back that we had on Sunday was so great. And everyone had lots of really great questions and a lot of really great feedback. So it was so much fun. And I'm so ready for us to start the second weekend tonight.
Absolutely. In case anyone doesn't know, Kayla is, of course, playing Annie Wilkes in this production of Misery and does an absolutely fantastic job. Vanessa, our good friend Vanessa, says, I went to high school with Kayla. Kayla has always put her love in her. and she has done absolutely in Misery. Congratulations. And she has
Oh, thank you, Vanessa.
so sweet. And Megan Gaitan says, super mom and superstar. Amazing show. Can't wait to see it again Sunday. All right, Megan's coming back.
Yay.
That is so
yeah, for girls afternoon.
Love that. Nothing like a little Misery on a Sunday afternoon.
Right.
Okay, Kayla, we like to talk about daytime identities around here. So tell us what you do during the day before you come to the theater.
So I am, of course, a mom. So that's always, first and foremost before anything else. But I'm also a nurse. And so luckily, I work a nursing job that I work 8 to 5, and I have some of the greatest patients in the world. I work for a company called United Energy Workers, and we help those who used to or still work at Pantex. And there's a lot of hazards that come with working there, and so we help them get benefits from the Department of Labor.
Oh, okay.
And so I haven't been working here very long, but I have gotten to meet a whole bunch of my clients over the last couple of weeks, and they are absolutely the most amazing, super sweet, and incredibly welcoming. So little shout out to my Department of Energy guys.
That is so great. And Kayla, it makes me so happy to hear you talk about your job this way, because you are someone, as long as I've known you, and I've known you a long time, I have always felt like you bring so much passion and positive energy to what you do here at the theater. And then just hearing you talk about this job that seems fairly new with the place that you're working.
Oh, yeah.
And you're discussing it with the exact same passion and energy that I feel like you discuss that you bring to the theater when you're here. That makes me so happy. It's just you.
I mean, if you're not happy at your job, then find what makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I want to know, because Annie is also a nurse. Now, is she really a nurse?
She really is a nurse.
Okay, she really is a nurse. I wasn't sure
Or
if that was like.
Well, she was a nurse.
Okay.
No longer a practicing nurse.
Interesting. But that's so cool that, like, it's just one other way for you to find common ground with her, which I'm sure is difficult in a lot of ways, given her mental illness.
It is, and mental illness is definitely more than one. Yeah. Definitely more than one.
Kind of an array.
Poor thing.
Oh,
she's just misunderstood. She's just misunderstood. That's what it boils down to. She's just, she has so many hard things that have happened in her life, and that's what's so funny is they really don't in the play discuss that. It's very thinly veiled. She has one line where she's discussing Misery and talking about how, Misery saved her after her divorce. And she talks about Misery's horrible stepfather and her miserable childhood. And Annie very much projects herself onto Misery. Mm-hmm. And so, but that's really the only part of that you really get. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And so to see her act and especially react, Annie is a very reactive person. Yeah. To see her act and react the way that she does, mm-hmm. it kind of gives a little context into her background. But really, if you read the book or even if you watch the movie, you get a lot more of that.
Okay. Gosh, it's so interesting. Your best friend, Jessie, says Kayla is absolutely killing it. I can't wait to see the show again this weekend.
That's my bestie.
BFF love around here. Love that. And Michelle says, I can't wait to see the show and honored to meet you.
Oh, I can't wait to meet you too. And thinking about shows, I already have my tickets for Ragtime.
Yay!
So
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to see the show and to get to see you and your family on stage.
Thank you so much. We're so excited, but I want to keep talking about you. Okay. It's about you today. Okay. So you're a busy working mom, like we discussed. So we have to be choosy anymore about the shows we give our time to. The last show that you did was Waitress last season, correct?
Yeah.
So why Misery? Why give so much of your time to this particular show?
So, in talking to my significant other about the changes that we had in the last year, found out during Waitress that I was going to have a baby, and was like, well, okay, that's going to make the first season after having him a little bit difficult.
Mm.
And I had to, looked at the shows that were coming up when we were voting on shows, saw Misery, and was like, oh my, oh my. So that one was definitely number one on my list. Number two, if it had been put on the ballot, was Rocky, because I've done Rocky Horror. Oh gosh,
I would have
way
been shocked
too many times.
if we would have done that show and you wouldn't have showed up for auditions. I would have been like, hold the phone, what's happening?
Yeah, that one.
Because Kayla needs to be here.
I have done that show way too many times, but it has a special place in my heart, and so I absolutely would have been there for that.
Yeah.
But I also had to think about like rehearsal process and how long it takes and the dedication to it. And so for me, this season, musicals generally have a longer rehearsal process than straight plays do, and so you've got 8 weeks there, and it's almost Monday through Friday, and then you have some Saturdays and some Sundays sprinkled in. For this show, it was, it's Monday through Thursday, and it's, from 6:30 to 9 p.m. or from 7 to 7. It's a lot more structured. You get out on time, and so thinking about the baby and everything like that, and family time, I was like, well, it's probably going to be best for me to do just a regular show. And then when I saw that Misery was one that was picked, I was like, well, that's it, I'm on. But then I almost didn't come. My mom just recently moved to North Carolina, and so she happened to be in town that week, and the Misery auditions, that was her last night there.
Oh.
And I was like, no, I can't. It's fine. I would rather spend the time with you.
Yeah.
And she goes, nope, I'll just go with you. We're going. And Jesse was like, no, you're going to auditions.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to auditions.
Wow. Oh, what a sweet mom you have. That's amazing. She
She's
really wanted it.
She is the best. And then she actually flew down last weekend.
Did she?
So that she could come and see the show.
What did she think?
She loved it. Absolutely loved it. She's not she's not as big of a Stephen King fan as my older brother and I are, but she said she had watched part of the movie, but she'd never seen the whole thing, and she's never read the book. So she was in for quite a few surprises.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, totally. And Jesse says, you're welcome. And you owe it all to Jesse, really.
I owe a lot to her. So when it comes to theater, I do owe a lot to her, because with my first main stage show at ALT with Les Mis, she was actually the one who convinced me to go audition for that.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh wow. Well, we owe her a debt of gratitude as well. Thank you, Jesse. Grateful to you. Okay, Kayla, talk to me about how you feel. How much can you relate to Annie, if at all?
So I actually can relate to her a little bit more than I initially thought. So number one, being a nurse.
Yeah.
And, I too worked night shifts at a hospital, and they can be incredibly hard, and it really takes a toll on your entire life. And so one of the reasons that I left night shift is because it was taking a toll on my own mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a huge mental health advocate. Like I very much believe that we all need to look within ourselves. And if we need help with something going on like that we deserve, and everybody deserves the help, and everyone's not able to get that.
Right.
But yeah, night shift was taking a really huge toll on my mental health, because you feel like you are ships passing in the night with your family. Even when you're not working, you're sleeping. Even on your days off, you're sleeping because your body is trying to catch up. Even if you've been doing it for years, it feels like. And so it became very hard to balance my own mental health and then balance my family. And, you know, as far as the play is concerned, because again, it doesn't talk about why Annie and her husband split up. Now, in the book and everything, we know a little bit more about that. But if you've never seen it or you've never read it, then you don't know why they got a divorce. And, you know, maybe her work life was part of it. Who knows? And then, you know, again, being a mental health advocate, I had to look within myself years ago and understand that I had my own mental health struggles, you know, and you have things that people don't talk about very much, like postpartum depression.
Right.
That's a big one. And people call it the baby blues, but it's not that. And it can stem for years.
Yeah.
After you have a child, and people don't think about generalized anxiety disorder. That's one that a lot of people have, and they don't even realize that they have it. And so having to come to terms with myself that I too have mental health struggles, that also helped me relate with Annie a lot. And also the fact that, you know, we all have that one TV show or that one book series that we love so much, and then they kill off our favorite character.
Yeah.
And you absolutely lose your mind, and you're like, I'm never watching this ever again. I'm never watching it. That's how I felt during The Walking Dead when Negan killed Glenn. So it's like, I'm never watching this ever again. And then I kept going and I loved it. Then, you know, Negan ended up being one of my favorite characters. But, and, you know, I also relate on the fact that, you know, she is technically classified as the villain in this story, which, I mean, to each their own perception on that, because, I mean, Paul's not the greatest guy. And he, you know, he himself has made some pretty awful decisions and treated people pretty poorly in his past. So who really is the villain? We're going to say Paul. No, generally for me, when it comes to shows, it's I'm either the comic relief, and that happens a lot, or I'm a villain, and there really is no in between. So Annie was definitely an interesting character to delve into, and it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be initially. So thank goodness for Callie Hissick, who was our mental health coordinator, and she checks in with us all the time to make sure that we're okay, and do we need anything? Do we need any help, like regulating? And I actually had to seek her help during transitioning from one scene to another, which if you've seen the show, you know which one. If you haven't seen it, then you'll figure it out when you do.
Yeah. Well, that's great that you feel cared for during the process of the show.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm so happy to hear that.
And you know, Joe has been amazing as well with that, constantly checking in with us at rehearsals. Is there anything that we need? Is there anything that we need to talk about? Is there anything that we need to change because it's too much? And which, you know, we haven't had that issue where it was too much to handle. So that's been good. But just feeling that our mental health is cared for, it was very reassuring doing a show like this.
So important. Kayla, tell me more about the process of working on Misery. Do you feel that you grew as an actor? And what was it like to tackle, especially since you're a fan, a Stephen King classic and this kind of heavy subject matter?
Oh man. So the first 2 weeks of rehearsal were very interesting because we weren't sure what was going to happen with the set and how the set was going to work kind of was going to steer our path on how everything went. So since that was still up in the air, really wanted a turntable. Man, that would have been cool. But
Mhm.
how we ended up being able to do it, I think is so much neater, having the invisible walls, but you partially kind of see them. And
Mhm.
um, so that ended up working out great. But because we didn't know what we were doing, we ended up just finding this like wooden bed that's like low to the ground and this tiny little mat to go on top of it and a couple of chairs. And Joe basically said, okay, let's just do it. You
Mhm.
have your script. How do you feel like Annie would be moving around the room? You know, Paul's kind of confined to the bed, so there wasn't much moving for him,
Right.
but it was what feels natural.
Mhm.
And it really gave us an opportunity, for Patrick and I especially, but also with Bobby, for our relationships to grow organically,
Yeah.
instead of saying, okay, this is how Paul is feeling in this moment, and this is how Annie is reacting. This is how you have to react to this. It wasn't like that at all.
Mhm.
So that's why one reason why I say Annie is very reactive, because there have been several times where we're doing a scene and Patrick may say something, may say a line in a different tone than he said it the night before,
Mhm.
which is going to completely change how Annie reacts to it.
Mhm.
And so then when we found that, we're like, oh, wait, that works.
Mhm.
And that happened quite a few times um, during our time together. And you know, it was so great. It's been so great to work with Patrick. I'd actually never gotten to work with him before this, and he's been a real pleasure to work with. He is very dedicated and does all of his research, which is so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he was ready to go day one on Paul, and had done all of his research, read the book, read you know, what was really going on with Stephen King when he wrote it. And
Yeah.
so we both kind of had to change our views
Mhm.
on how these characters were and who they were. Um, so it's been interesting to go through that process. But the fact that this whole rehearsal process has been very emotionally driven and very organically run, as oh my gosh, I've never done a show like that before.
Yeah.
And it's been just the coolest experience. But looking back now, I don't know that it could have been done any other way. And so I'm so grateful to Joe for leading us in that direction, as opposed to telling us this is what you're feeling in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Kayla, we have a question from a viewer here. Alan Burns says, at what timeline during rehearsals did it click between you and Patrick on your approaches to the show?
So, like I said, we our character changed a few times in the first few weeks rehearsal. And so really, I think it was about week 3 or so where we finally really found each other, where we were starting to get a little bit more comfortable with our lines and starting to figure out that, okay, we're connecting and we're both comfortable with each other. Because, you know,
Mhm.
the first few weeks you're kind of trying to figure out, who is this person, especially if you've never met them. And you know, the first time I ever met Patrick was at auditions.
Yeah.
And so it's, you know, it's a little tentative and a little scary to work with somebody new, especially when there's only 3 people in the show
Right.
and the majority of your time is spent with one person. And so the fact that it was a lot of me running circles around him because he's, you know, literally stuck in bed,
Yeah.
that it was difficult to connect at first,
Mhm.
because you know, we're still looking over lines, we're still trying to find ourselves in these characters. But I think by about week 3 we'd finally kind of jumped on the train of, okay, this is where we're going.
Yeah.
And it was really neat to watch the light bulb go off in both of our heads of, oh, okay, I get it now.
Mhm.
And even then, like, the character development went on and on. And I mean, even still, there was a moment last weekend where one line was said just ever so slightly differently, but it completely changed how Annie felt about the situation. So that's just been really neat. That was a really good question. Like, that's a hard one, but once that connection was there, and once we knew that we could trust each other, especially once we got into the fight choreography, once we figured out that we could trust each other, that made everything go 1,000% smoother and faster once we figured that out.
Oh, definitely. And you guys have such a line load on top of everything else. I mean, especially because it's mostly just the two of you. And so I'm sure getting those lines down was so crucial to finding the relationship between the two.
And not only crucial, but oh man, I completely underestimated how many lines Annie had. And I was listening to it last night, and every scene between Annie and Paul, minus 2 scenes, Annie starts the scene.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, good Lord.
Don't say the wrong line. We'll go into a whole other part of the show. Oh my gosh.
Luckily, hadn't had that issue starting the scene. Now, however, ending the scene, it actually happened on preview night. I said the wrong thing and I walked off stage and was like, what was that? I was like, that's not right. That's not the right one. But luckily it was the ending to the scene after that. So it was fine.
Okay. So yeah, that's great. That's great. Preston Moore says Misery was spectacular.
Oh, thanks, Preston.
And Alan Burns says it is great to see a play that becomes organic during the performance. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the goal. That is the goal for sure. Okay, you guys are getting to enjoy a completely sold out run, which we love for you. We love it for ALT. But is there anything, so we're not out here trying to sell tickets, but is there anything you want people to know who already have their tickets to see the show before they see your final performances this weekend?
So I've said it a couple of times in a couple of different places, but if you know the book and if you know the movie, it's not that. So Misery, the book, is completely different from Misery, the movie, is completely different from Misery, the show. Like, again, if you've seen the movie and you've read the book, you know Annie's backstory. You know the things that she's done. They don't talk about that in the play. It is not ever once mentioned anything that she did. So I want people to come out of this feeling something. Not only for Paul, because yay, Paul, he survives, but I also want them to understand that Annie is a person, and though did she make the right decisions? No, absolutely not. But I want people to, at least at some part in the play, root for her and be like, oh, she's not so bad after all. And then, we get to the other parts. And if you haven't seen it, then, well, you're in for something. But I want people to feel like they can relate to her a little bit. And, when you just get so excited and so caught up in your number one fandom, that, because everybody's got one, at least, where, man, they are diehard fans. And that's what Annie is. She's a diehard fan with lots of undiagnosed mental health issues. And I want people to see the relationship between Annie and Paul. And I want them to find those moments where you forget what you know about the characters already and just see two people who are learning about each other and having real moments together.
I mean, here's the thing that I love about theater and really the performing arts in general is because of the artistry of it, it's subjective. It's beautiful for people to come in from all different backgrounds, they all have different histories, they all have different lives, and can come in and see a show and walk out and they've all had a completely different experience. I love that about theater. I love that you're bringing your own biases, you're bringing your own experience, you're bringing your own history, whatever's going on in your world right now. Maybe you can set that aside. Maybe you can't. Maybe you're going to see
Yeah.
yourself in this character. Maybe you're going to learn something that you didn't know before. Maybe you'll learn something about somebody else because this character represents someone in your own life who you can, oh, okay, maybe I can change my perspective on this, or maybe I can view this from a different viewpoint. It's what I love about art in general is you just, but with live theater, it's so right there in your face. It's a full, and at the adventure space, especially because it is so intimate, it's so very different of an experience from the main stage, that you walk in and you're so ensconced in this world. You can't help it. You're literally sitting in it. And you can walk out having a completely different experience than the person who sat right next to you.
Absolutely. And we've been hearing that a lot, where, someone will ask, what was your favorite part of the show? And, a lot of people are going to say like, oh, it's the horror aspects of it. Which again, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil that for you. But, and for others, it was them having dinner together.
Mm-hmm.
Like what a funny random scene for that to be their favorite part of the show. And again, that is another scene where you just see them as two people doing something, until it's not. But it just, I want people to feel something, even though this really is a psychological thriller. It doesn't mean that you can't feel something for these people. And, I kind of want them to root back and forth, be torn about who really is the villain in this show. Like,
well, you wouldn't be doing your job if you didn't, as an actor, you have to find the humanity in a person. To play an actual person, you have to find their humanity. You have to find the things that we discussed earlier that you relate to about her, that you find common ground with her, with your own life experience, so that you can then bring that authenticity to the role. Absolutely.
So I am so excited. And if you don't have tickets, I know it's sold out, but if you show up to the theater 30 minutes before the show starts, get in on the standby list.
There's always a chance.
There is always a chance. And on Friday night, I know personally, because my bestie had a little snafu with her tickets, and she had 3 people and they were able to get in. So
great.
There's always a chance, you guys. So if you really want to come and see the show, which I highly, highly recommend that you do, it's such a great show. But just try and get in on that standby line.
Yeah, definitely. Show up 30 minutes before, see if you can get in. If you're just dying to see it, Joe and Lissa always do their best to get everybody in.
Absolutely.
Make sure to do that so you don't miss out on this great show. Kayla, thank you so much for chatting.
Thank you, Annika.
Especially last minute, picking up your son, getting home. Y'all, this woman called me on the road. She signed in to Thursdays at 3 from her car, like so desperate to make sure that she wasn't going to be late. I just love you for that. You're amazing.
Oh, I love you too.
I'm so proud of you, Kayla. I'm so happy that you're experiencing a sold out run. I know how hard that you've worked. We're all just very, very proud of you, and I adore you. And I'm so happy that you're a part of ALT. You're just such a special person, and it was so fun to talk to you today. I'm so grateful for your talent and for your energy and all the positivity that you bring to the theater. And I don't get to see you very much, so I'm just taking my little opportunity to grab you by the virtual face and tell you how much I love you. So thank you so much for your work in this, and thank you for being a part of ALT. We love you to pieces.
Of course, I love ALT.
Break all the legs in your final weekend. Enjoy every single second, especially that added matinee. Y'all, we had to add a matinee for these people because they sold out so quickly. We love that. And guys, remember to get your tickets for Ragtime. If you're a member, you can do that right now. If you're not a member, why? get your tickets, become a member. You get discounted tickets, and it's just a better way to go. You can do that all the way up until New Year's Eve. Get your tickets for Ragtime. If you're not a member, they go on sale to the public on Monday at 10 a.m. So make sure to get your tickets. And y'all have
For real, do it, because I saw a sneaky peek of Annika singing and it's so good.
Did you really? Oh
I did.
Jessie, she's out here. She's out here. She's the little spy. Oh my gosh. Okay, Kayla, have a fantastic weekend. I'm so proud of you, honey.
Thanks, Annika.
Okay, have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone. See ya.